Allah Akbar.
This is the place where every religion is accepted, where every religion is invited.
Do you ever get attacked by other Muslims, a verbal attack like you're not the real Muslims, you need to go back to the roots? Do you ever get comments like these?
We get occasionally, not very often, and usually when they realize that in our mosque everything is very correct, because the precision of how to do the prayers, how to lead the prayers is very important. And Bao Muhyiddin is very specific about do everything correctly. This is not a joke. But he's a sheikh, it's a Sufi path, so there are a lot of Orthodox people who really sort of feel uncomfortable with it. Personally, I think they're uncomfortable with something in their own selves, but it manifests outside as a kind of anger. And we do occasionally get people like that. They don't come back. They come, they realize things are being done correctly. They calm down and they go away wondering. And inshallah, it will do them some good.
What about from the community? How's the response? How's the support from the community?
The local farm community out here or in Philadelphia,
both,
where our mosque is. I'll start with the community in Philadelphia because where Bao landed in Philadelphia, where the fellowship is, and where the mosque he built is in Philadelphia, is directly across the street from the Catholic Cardinal's estate, Cardinal Regali. It's directly across from St. Joseph's University, big Jesuit Catholic university, and there's a house full of Jesuit priests next door. It's down the block from a Jewish Hasidic yeshiva, and it's in a very Jewish Orthodox neighborhood. So it's really a microcosm of what you see in Jerusalem almost. It's full of Muslims like us. It's full of really intense Catholics, and it's full of really intense Jews. And we've lived there for 35 years in total peace and harmony and support each other, and it's an amazing community. Here in the country now, we're 40 miles west, and there's cornfields, and there's Amish farms, and there's Quakers, and there's very, very wealthy people who live south of here on big estates with their racing horses and their show horses. There's a little less understanding because they're a little less focused on God in their own lives. They're very secular. We get along probably better with the Quakers and the Amish out here because they are focused on God and they recognize people who believe in God, and they invite us to speak at the Quaker meetings. The Amish stay sort of to themselves, but have a tremendous respect for anybody who believes in God.
In America, people from other faiths have asked me, why are some Muslims reverting back to tribalism?
The area where Al-Qaeda and the Taliban are located it's in an area that is very, very remote. There are no job opportunities, there's no economic development. It's really this isolated place.
Islam came to help us get rid of tribalism. Do you think part of the Muslims are like reverting back to tribalism?
Sure. I mean, that's happening all over the world. It's not only Muslims. Everybody's kind of hunkering down because people are in pain and people are feeling more isolated, and the more isolated people feel, the more inclined they are to kind of draw a real deeper association with a group that separates them from another group. But, you know, when it becomes an issue where people begin to kind of make a business out of religion, and they decide that, you know, this is a product that we have to market, and the product really is in competition with other products, and so we have to slam other products. That's not what we as Muslims should be doing. We shouldn't be doing that. As Muslims, we're supposed to be spending every moment of our life perfecting ourselves, spending every moment of our life examining ourselves and removing from us everything that separates us from Allah, so that when we die, the majority of those things that stand between us and Allah are gone. And in that process, We become different, we appear different, we act different, we speak different. Our hearts are supposed to be made different by that very process. And if that happens, then something of value can come from that process. And that can be of value to other people in the world.
After all that's said and done, there has to be some kind of a message that American Muslims would like to share with Muslims from all around the world and even to the followers of other faith groups.
What would be your message to the Muslims all around the world from you as a Muslim from America?
I think the key message is really the message that was brought to us originally by our Sheikh al-Muhaydin, which is to become a Muslim. And at one point he said it's harder for a Muslim to become a Muslim than anyone else on earth. Because if you're born a Muslim, you think you know, and you're already in Islam without having to consciously move towards Islam. So you don't have to have that experience of finding God and finding it. And I would encourage all Muslims to really become conscious of their personal, direct relationship with God. Make sure there's nobody in between their soul and God, and that the resonance of the Quran and the message of the Quran is the resonance in their own hearts, and that they stay true to the zikr, true to all the qualities of God, and true to the Rasul and everything that he brought.
What does America mean to you?
It's my home. I mean, you know, this is the place where every religion is accepted, where every religion is invited, where every religion is allowed to participate, where there is no discrimination and there is no intolerance. There might be among some people within the United States, but as far as the United States goes, the majority of the people and the laws of this country protect us all, and they protect us all equally. That doesn't happen in most places in the world. It happens here, it's alive. It happens here, and it's part of our everyday life, and it's part of my everyday experience. And I deeply, deeply appreciate it. I love the country very much, and I'm very, very grateful that I was born here. I'm very grateful that I live here. I'm very grateful to be in Islam here in the United States of America.
I thank you so much for joining me.
Well, alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
To close, Muslims have nothing to be afraid of. This deen was perfected by the Prophet. So there's no room for us to be frightened or to think that somehow this deen is going to be hurt. The only thing that can corrupt this deen is us. We have to be very mindful and very careful that we don't depart from what it was that the Prophet actually did, how it is that he actually lived, how he conducted himself, who he interacted with, and the qualities, the words, and the deportment that he had. If we separate ourselves from that, we've separated ourselves from Islam. No matter how many cultural influences might affect that and might make that seem attractive, it's wrong. You know, our responsibility is to stay directly behind the Prophet and to stay within that protection.
For Muslims America, I'm Imran Siddiqui.